What's up, family? Man, I want to share an intimate story with you guys, okay? And I've talked about this before, but man, I woke up this morning and I felt like, this is what we're supposed to talk about. As I was getting in the shower, I was asking God and meditating and cleansing and just like, okay, what am I supposed to talk about today? You know what I mean? What's the conversation supposed to be about this morning? You know what I mean? Love hearing the birds. What's the conversation supposed to be about this morning? And as I was thinking about that, as I was reflecting on that, my late wife came to my mind. And I'll share a couple things with you guys. Years ago, my late wife passed away in 2015, December 2015, to breast cancer. And when we got together and we started dating and stuff, I was writing kind of what I'm doing now, but I would write these text message positive thoughts or just thoughts that, would make you reflect, on life and just where you're at, what you're doing with your life. And I was sending them out to like these mass groups that I had, right? Over 200 people. I was sending all these text message to, and I was sending it out to emails as well, right? And my late wife asked me, she was like, why you do that? Why you do that? And what makes you, do that stuff? That, who do you think you are to say all this stuff? Who do you think you are to send all these people these thoughts and stuff, right? And I was like, I'm just trying to help people. I'm just trying to give people something to think about. I'm just trying to give people, something to reflect on. I wasn't trying to preach to anybody. I wasn't trying to do anything other than the fact that, man, let's think. Let's have a heart-to-heart conversation. Let's reflect on something deep. You know what I mean? Let's reflect on some real shit. You know what I mean? Enough of the superficial stuff. Enough of the stupid, wasted conversations on insignificant things. You know what I mean? Let's have some heart-to-heart conversations. And so she would get mad because I would send out these different text messages to all these people, right? And I had her included, I had like 200 some people I was sending to, but they were broken down into groups like 15, 20, that I was sending them out to, right? And so when she got breast cancer and, probably like the last 4 months of her life, she started sending out text messages and different things to all these people, right? She would start sending out all of these videos and all these things to these people. She knew that the end was near for her, you know what I mean? And she wanted to reach these people, and she wanted her life to be, she wanted people to learn something from her life, you know what I mean? Man, don't waste life like I have, you know what I mean? Man, get busy. Life can come to an end at any time, you know what I mean? You never know how fast your life can change. You never know that, man, one day you're great, and the next day you go to the doctor and you get some devastating news, you know what I mean? You have 6 months to live. You know what I mean? And that's going to flip your world upside down. That's going to change everything about life for you. You know what I mean? And so she started sending out these messages to all these people, right? To her, people that worked for her fellow supervisors, you know what I mean? Her peers and stuff, and family members and all this other stuff. She was now doing the same thing that I've been doing for years, right? But she's doing it now because she's close to death. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. She knows she's about to die, and now she's trying to have an impact. She knows she's about to die, and now she's trying to reach these people. And at first I was offended by that, you know what I mean? It's like, man, you blast me for doing the exact same shit you doing. You know what I mean? Who the fuck do you think you are now to, try to, it is what it is, you know what I mean? I understood what she was doing. I understood why she was doing it, you know what I mean? I was brokenhearted. It took her demise for her to come to this realization. You know what I mean? Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I was sad and just brokenhearted. That, man, it took her knowing that she was about to die before she started trying to do something positive and righteous with her life, before she started trying to impact the lives of other people. Okay? And so, throughout the marriage, and this is not to blast my wife. Please don't, my late wife, please don't take it that way. That's not what this is about. I know Cecilia. She would want me to have this conversation with you guys. You know what I mean? To the point to where, man, I was traveling this morning and I heard this guy talking. He was on the phone. And I looked to see who it was, right? And there was this guy. But right next to him was this lady. And I've never seen this before. This lady looked just like Cecilia. This lady, the way she had her hair, her skin tone, her complexion, her everything about her was Cecilia. Everything looked identical to Cecilia. Was born and raised in Central California. I'm out here on the East Coast. This woman looked just like my late wife. Identical to my late wife. And I'm sitting there and I'm smiling because like, okay, I'll share this message today. You know what I mean? At all. So I was thinking about doing it while I was in the shower getting ready. But now that I'm traveling and I'm on the road, it's like, and I see this person who looks just like my wife. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to share this message. Okay, I hear you, Cecilia. You know what I mean? And so throughout the marriage, you know, we was going through different things. You know what I mean? And it was, we had bought this real big house, right? And I was paying the mortgage on it, $1,600 payment a month, right? And I'm making the payment. And she had 2 boys. She had 3 boys. 2 of them were in college in another little city. And they were trying to play basketball and different stuff. And so I told her, I said, hey, you know, they're staying in a room with other guys, right? Basketball players and stuff. And they all have to pay like a part of the rent. And so I said, hey, you know, I'll pay that part of the rent for them. And I'll help them with food and stuff. That's going to be my contribution. You know what I mean? Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And so, you know, these ain't my kids. These are not my biological kids. But I'm helping my wife out by paying their part of the rent, by spending money on groceries for them. So that they ain't got the stress over it. All they got to do is, man, go to school, hit their books, and play ball. That's all they got. They ain't got to worry about the rent being covered. They're part of the rent being covered and electricity being covered. They ain't got to worry about having food to eat, none of that stuff. I'm going to take care of that part for them because I'm helping my wife. Stay with me. And so I would buy her stuff all the time. Always buying her different stuff. You know what I mean? She loved colors, just vibrant colors. And man, she loved big stuff like jerseys and just wearing baggy clothes. Man, she had like all of the NFL jerseys. You know what I mean? Man, I had a hookup and I'm just buying all this stuff for her. Laker jerseys, everything. Buying her all kinds of stuff, jewelry, everything, right? We're going on trips, everything, right? And so she was sitting there one day and she said this a number of times. And it broke my heart, right? And so this one day she said, man, you ain't doing nothing for me. She was like, what are you doing for me? And I looked at her and I was like, what the fuck? And I just put my head down. And she's like, honestly, what are you doing for me? You ain't doing nothing for me. You ain't paying my bills. And I'm like, how the fuck can you say that? Stay with me. How the fuck can you fix your mouth and say some stupid ass bullshit like that? I'm paying for the fucking mortgage. I'm paying for your boys' rent. I'm paying for them to have fucking food to eat. I'm buying you all this other shit that you have right here, right? She told me, and her response was, I didn't ask you to pay for that. Family, that fucked me up. That fucked me up. That she had the audacity to tell me that she didn't ask me to buy all this stuff for her. She's mad because I'm not paying her fucking bills. I'm not paying her fucking credit cards. I didn't have shit to do with creating those fucking credit cards. You know what I mean? I didn't have shit to do with her spending money on those fucking credit cards. I'm paying the house payment. I'm paying for the rent for her boys to release the stress from her. So she ain't got to worry about that. She knows that they got a place to stay. She knows that they got food to eat. She ain't got to stress over that shit. I'm buying her different shit, taking her different places, and she's telling me because I'm not paying for her fucking credit card bills that I ain't doing shit for her. That broke my heart. And it pissed me off. Stay with me. And I'm sharing that with you guys, family, because you know what? And I'm talking to God, and I was asking God, what the fuck? And then she's like, you always talking about what you're doing. It's like, hold on, wait a minute. I only brought up what I'm doing because you said I'm not doing shit. And I'm showing you what all I've done. Oh, I'm not doing what you want me to do. Just because I'm not doing what you want me to do doesn't mean that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. So many of us, so often, God has blessed us with an amazing person, and we'll fuck it up. We'll fuck the relationship up because we'll get fucking selfish. We'll fuck the relationship up because we'll get fucking ungrateful. We'll forget about some shit. And we get on this fucking entitlement mentality to where we can sit back and just forget about everything we want. You know what I mean? How God has blessed us, how God has hooked us up, how God has provided for us. And now we're so mad and frustrated, and we're sowing this toxic ass shit into the relationship. Stay with me. God has done so much for so many of us. But we take on this mentality of, man, I think Janet Jackson had a song out years ago, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? And we don't realize how fucked up that song was. We don't realize how toxic that song was. We loved the hell out of that song. We blasted that song all over the place, never understanding how fucking poison it was. You know what I mean? And so God has said, man, I've done so much for you ungrateful, entitled motherfuckers. And all y'all want to do is sit on your lazy ass fucking asses and sit around and talk about, well, you ain't did this and you ain't done this and you ain't did. What about all this shit I've already done for you? And see, my wife had totally forgot about the fact that the boy's father that she was married to for years wasn't about shit. Was a bum-ass motherfucking dude. He wasn't even a fucking man. He was a bum-ass fucking dude. She paid for everything. They never went anywhere. He never bought her shit. And now she got a man that's providing for her. Now she got a man that's helping her out. Now she got a man that's doing some shit for her. Now she don't know how to fucking act. And so many of us, God has done so much for us. So many of us, God has brought people in our lives and we're fucking it up. I made a video just the other day. Don't fuck this shit up. God has brought people in your lives, and man, because now you don't got so used to them. You don't got so comfortable in your fucking relationship. You don't got so comfortable in your fucking job. You don't got so comfortable in your fucking house, on your career, on your job, and all. Now you taking shit for granted. Now you're taking shit for granted because you don't got so fucking comfortable. And God is sending me here to remind you, motherfucker, I could take this shit. I could take everything you got. I blessed you with this. You didn't deserve this. I blessed you with this. I blessed you with this job. I blessed you with this house. I blessed you with your apartment. I blessed you with this career. I blessed you with these finances. I blessed you with this relationship. And your ungrateful, entitled, lazy fucking ass is about to fuck it up. Because you don't got too fucking comfortable and you don't forgot about where you came from. You don't forgot about all the shit you don't went through. You don't forgot about your loneliness. You don't forgot about the years of you struggling and, man, doing stupid ass shit because, man, you got to make ends meet. You doing stupid ass shit because you ain't got nobody to rely on. You ain't got nobody to depend on. And now that I brought somebody into your life to help you with that shit, you don't forgot about your struggles. You don't forgot about the loneliness. You don't forgot about the pain that you done went through. Don't get so comfortable that you forget about where you came from. Don't get so fucking comfortable that you start getting fucking lazy. Don't get so fucking comfortable that you start popping your collar talking about I've arrived and whoop-de-whoop and all this other bullshit. It took my wife getting on her deathbed for her to realize what she had. It took my wife getting on her deathbed and knowing that death was coming for her to realize, damn, I've been so busy doing this, and that. I wasn't fucking living. I was so busy doing this, and that, and been ungrateful. And man, just all this bullshit. that I forgot about the important shit. I forgot about fucking living. I forgot about being a blessing and a beacon to other people because I've been so much on my survival mode. I've been so much on just trying to make shit happen that I don't totally forgot about, man, what it's like to be fucking happy. What it's like to have fucking peace and joy. Man, we got to grow up. We got to grow up. We have to grow up. And there's a saying that, you know, it's all over social media. And I hate this fucking saying because it's fucking ignorant as fuck. Don't look behind you because that's not the direction you're going. Or stop looking at your past because that's not where you're going. That's not where you're headed. And all this other stupid ass bullshit. I tell you guys, we talk so fucking much trying to sound so fucking deep. We talk so much trying to sound so fucking enlightened. You know what I mean? Trying to sound so fucking spiritual. We're fucking ignorant as fuck and don't realize how fucking ignorant we are. If I don't look back and see where God has brought me from, man, that's how I get ungrateful. That's how I forget about what God has done for me. It takes me to look back over my life, to reflect on where I came from, to remember all the loneliness, all the lonely nights, all the brokenness, all the tears, and the frustration of not having somebody I can rely on, the frustration of having to do everything on my fucking own, the frustration of not having a job and not having the money to pay for the bills, not having enough money to pay for the things that I want. Now that I'm comfortable, now that I got all that shit, now that money's no longer an issue, now that I got a man, a woman, or whatever the case may be, and life is good, and life is great, and now I'm sitting back just my feet up because I fucking arrived, and I'm fucking complacent, and now I'm taking shit for granted. I'm no longer appreciating the fact that you're going all out for me. I no longer appreciate the fact that you're doing everything you can for me. I no longer appreciate the fact that, damn, I'm so happy that, man, I never thought that I would be this happy. I never thought that I would have somebody doing all this for me. I never thought that I would have somebody that appreciated my efforts, that matched my efforts, and that superseded my efforts into building a healthy relationship. I never thought that I would meet somebody that would go above and beyond what I was doing. Because I know how I am in a relationship. I know how much I give and pour into a relationship. I never thought that I would meet somebody that was willing to give me more than I was giving them. Willing to do more for me than I was doing for them. Willing to sacrifice more. You better take a pause. You know what I mean? You better take a time out. You know, it's a trip because we just sometimes, in my culture, you know, in the time frame that I grew up, there wasn't no timeouts. We just got our ass beat. You know what I mean? We didn't go sit in the corner and time out to reflect on some shit, to reflect on what we did wrong and all that other stuff. We didn't do all that shit. They didn't do that shit for us. You know what I mean? And so we didn't grow up learning how to reflect on our actions. We didn't grow up learning how to reflect on what we did that got us in trouble. You know what I mean? And so what God is saying, man, you better sit your ass down and take a fucking time out before I put your ass in time out and start revoking some shit from you, start taking some shit from you. So in order for you to get to that place of humility, in order for you to fall flat on your fucking face again, apologetic, and man, my bad, God. I don't got beside myself. My bad, God. I don't got indignant. My bad, God. I don't start popping my collars and bottles and all this other stupid shit, talking about look at me and I'm this and I'm that and all this other bullshit. I don't forgot about where I came from. I don't forgot about what you done for me. I don't forgot about the pain and the loneliness and the frustration and the suicidal thoughts and the anxiety and the fears and all the other shit that I dealt with. I don't forgot about all that shit. I don't forgot about being on a bus, on a train, and all these motherfuckers scaring the fuck out of me. And now I ain't got to do that shit. Now this guy, this queen or whatever, they put me in a position to where I ain't got to be around all these grimy motherfuckers no more. I ain't got to deal with all that bullshit no more. But now I don't pop my collar because I'm a fucking queen and I ain't got to do this shit no more. And I don't got beside myself. Now you ask me to do something for you, and I don't want to. I don't feel like it, and because I don't forgot about all the shit that you're dealing with. I don't forgot about. I'm not thinking about all the hell that you're carrying. I'm not thinking about all the responsibilities you have on your fucking back. I'm not thinking about all the energy and the effort that you're putting in to make everything happen. I'm just thinking about, I don't feel like it. I don't want to, and so I'm not going to. Because you don't got fucking lazy and complacent. And God has said, check your motherfucking self. You know, in the hood, years ago, we had this saying, check yourself or you wreck yourself. You know what I mean? Again, check yourself or you wreck yourself. And what that saying is, man, you better take a fucking time out. You better sit your motherfucking ass down and humble your fucking self. You better reflect on some shit. The old folks in the day used to say, don't get too big for your fucking britches. Man, you better humble yourself. You better remember some shit. You better remember the struggles you've been through. You better learn some fucking gratitude. Gratitude is not about just saying thank you. You can say thank you all fucking day long and not be grateful. You better learn some fucking gratitude. Because what God is saying is like, all right, motherfuckers, enough is enough, man. I just made a video the other day talking about the ignorant ass children of Israel. Crying out to God for 400 fucking years to be delivered from fucking slavery. God delivered them. He didn't just deliver them. He promised them their own fucking land. He didn't just promise them their own fucking land. When they left slavery, they left with the wealth of Egypt, the most powerful, the most wealthiest nation on the planet at that time. The children of Israel left with all that wealth. And they got out in the wilderness and got fucking ungrateful. They got out in the wilderness and forgot about the struggles they've been through. They got out in the wilderness and started complaining about some shit. They don't got beside themselves. You better grow up. You better check yourself. Life ain't about how you fucking feel. I'm gonna say that again. Life is not about how you fucking feel. I don't give a damn how you feel. You better get up and do what you're supposed to do. I was sitting there, I was talking to God one day, dealing with my late wife. And I was like, man, God, because my heart was broke, you know what I mean? It's like, I've done all this shit for this lady, you know what I mean? And now she has the audacity to tell me that I ain't doing shit for her. Now she has the audacity to tell me, I didn't ask you to do all that. You did all that because you wanted to. And I'm like, God, why? Why do I have to hear? Why is she like this? Why is she fucking wilding out like this? And God showed me something. He said, Elijah, you're just hearing this from Cecilia. I hear this from millions of you motherfucking ungrateful people walking on this planet. There are millions of Cecilias walking around this fucking planet ungrateful. There are millions of Cecilias walking around on this planet taking shit for granted. Forgetting about where they came from. Forgetting that they were in an abusive relationship. Forgetting that they were abused emotionally and physically. Forgetting that they were taken advantage of. Forgetting that they were dogged the fuck out. And now I brought them a king. Now they don't want to act right. Now that I done brought them a fucking career. Now that I done brought them some money. Now that I done brought them a place to stay because they were homeless. Now they don't want to act right. Man. I hope and pray that I've said something that's helped you, you know what I mean? That's turned the light on for you, you know what I mean? That's showed you, or, man, you know what I mean? I hope something has been said that encourages you, inspires you to reflect on your life. You know, take a real good look at your life. Take a long, hard look in the man, the woman in the mirror. Have you become complacent? Have you become lazy? Have you become the type of person that's taking shit for granted? Taking people for granted? I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.